All right, babies, it's that time again. Oh, yeah. Ow! We are in Revelation 12. And believe it or not, I'm going to say something about it. Not a lot, but I'll say something about it. It's a fairly familiar passage. Where it depicts a woman giving birth to a child. And so you don't really know if they're talking about Mary giving birth to Jesus or us, the bride of Christ, giving birth to the essence of Jesus in the world by the development of our character. I think it's the latter more than the former, because most of the book of Revelation is kind of a futuristic kind of thing. But with the Bible, you never really know. Like, is it also referring to the past? Is it retelling of the past? Is it current? Is it the future? You know. So this, pretty much, I think that's what's happening. And then it has this depiction of Satan being cast to the earth, where he kind of wreaks havoc with the bride. It says the woman, I'm going to refer to it as the bride. Tries to flood her, which doesn't make any sense, right? Because she's not a physical person. But whatever. He's cast to the lower realms, so he has to cause trouble in the lower realms, let's put it that way. And there's he's frustrated and angry because it doesn't work as usual, and the earth swallows up the flood, and she is safe. But she's giving birth to this man-child, I think is the term. So it's all speculative, right? I mean, who can know for sure? Unless God gives us something specific. I don't have it. However, I will say this, that through most of my Christian life, which has been about 45 years now, I just ignore ideas of Satan, because I'm so convinced of the fact that Jesus' work has been sufficient and complete, that we are seated with him in heavenly places, that I don't have to give a thought for what's going on in the lower realms, because I'm seated with him. I'm one with him. So I'm not entangling with, satanic imagery or satanic actions, etc., unless I, come face to face with it and I have to, help somebody out with demonic possession or something like that. But it doesn't happen very often, if at all. And so I've been perfectly happy this way, just ignoring Satan. You know, I can't I don't underestimate, however, his influence in my life, in, causing me trouble, like unnecessary trouble that I've gotten myself into because I've lost my focus. But when I regain my focus, I find the power and the joy and the peace of life in focusing on the love of Jesus and the futility of Satan when we're in that mindset and that fixed position. So that's kind of where I land with all that. I don't really get into all the scenarios like that are in either prophetic things that people are saying on YouTube or in prophetic books of the Old Testament or Revelation, because it's also fantastical. That how do you wrap your practical head around it while we're in this earthly form? I can't. Somebody else will have to help me out with that. I really can't do anything other than what I just said to you. So I do find extreme power and anointing in understanding, as you know, of us being the bride of Christ and us birthing his character in the world, and that being an essential process that the world needs to see, that ascended nature of Jesus resident and present in us continually. Now, if you want to call that the man child that the woman is birthing in Revelation, okay. But that's about as far as I go with it, because that's as much as I know. And when I say no and not believe, it's because it just feeds my spirit. It's continually useful to me to find myself in that understanding. And that's why I will often speak in the first person, because Jesus is married to a bride. Now, we know the bride is made up of millions of souls, right? But for me when I'm trying to connect to him, it helps me to speak in the first person, because he is one. We are one. So often you'll hear me say I, but in the back of my mind I'm thinking we, if that makes any sense to you. So yeah, I don't want to get into any, as I've been talking about, I don't want to get into any visualizations of what I am doing with Jesus. I would rather be empty and let him reveal himself in new ways to me so that I can be everything he wants me to be. But it's all based on what he is going to live through me. So really that passage is it Galatians where Paul says, I'm crucified with Christ, nevertheless I live, but it's him that lives in me. Yeah. That's as far as I go. If he wants to give me greater understanding of what's actually happening in the heavenly realm, that's on him. I'm not going to create it and try to fit him into it. No. If I'm going to do that, I might as well believe the entire Bible is inspired.